Breeze again. And there we go.
We're live.
Season 3 is underway of Crew Cheese Corner. And basically, we're starting our third season. Ha 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 ha. My computer's being very jittery tonight, so if I'm pausing a lot, it's because I want to make sure everything's working on my end. Let me do a little camera adjustment over here. There we go. Got to work on this camera angles here. But yeah, so we're doing our silly season show, and then we'll be back in probably end of the month, and then we'll start doing weekly shows after that. But so far this off season, it's been busy, but hasn't been insane. And really and truly, what we've seen is a lot of crew chiefs have moved around. We've seen guys that, such as Jeremy Bowens, is now going to be a crew chief in the Cup Series. And then you see some guys like what Roush has done, and you see Bob Osborne returning to crew chief Trevor Bayne now. But then you see that Carl Edwards' former, I guess it was an engineer or a car chief, is now going to crew chief Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s car, and Mike Kelly's going to take a step down and be the car chief on the 17. So there's been some head scratchers, but there hasn't been a lot of, I would say, crazy news. The Xfinity Series, obviously, those deals are always going to be insane because they're basically one-year deals. Unless you're Chase Elliott, you really don't have a multi-year contract in that series. So I know the thing I want to start with Xfinity, and the reason why I want to go here is because I think the Xfinity Series this year is going to be another really great series to watch. I think it's going to be the talk of this year. Because number one, you have Chase Elliott going for his second championship in a row if he gets there.
Which I think he's probably the favorite right now for that.
He's the favorite, but I think you have other drivers that are going to be up there. I think you obviously have to look at the Roush camp. I would say Bubba Wallace, if he has a full season put out there, which I've heard everything from partial schedule to full season. I'm going to stick with the full season that I've talked about pretty much on the Twitter account since I knew about Bubba going to Roush. I really don't think Jack brought him into the stable to run part-time. Jack, I think, knows that that's one of the reasons why Bubba didn't want to do this at Gibbs on a part-time slate. Sorry, I'm battling a little bit of a cold, too. But I think Jack knew that, and I think Jack
Winter
went... Well, it's probably like 20 degrees below zero up there by you.
If not colder, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 9 degrees here the other night, so I mean that's probably warm for you guys, but for me it's like freezing cold. So anyhow, I don't think Bubba's gonna go into this and not have at least a shot at winning races, and that means Chase has got to win some more companion events, which is going to be interesting because you still have Kyle Busch, you still have guys like Austin Dillon's going to come down and run a lot of races. So the series is really interesting. But the thing that kind of, I don't know, Rob, I know you and I kind of like to follow some of the smaller teams, but JGL announced that they signed Eric McClure to a full season deal, and he's going to run the full 33-race schedule, but he's going to have Reynolds Hefty on the car for, I want to say, 24 events, something in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I believe
8 or 9 races.
24, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be something. It's something in the 30-something neighborhood that they're not going to have. It's a 6-race sponsorship that they're not going to have. And I'm sure they're going to find somebody or just start and park, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is basically what they do anyhow with that car.
I don't know what to think about that deal. I don't know if maybe he been offered a deal from TriStar due to Blake Cook moving full time in the 8 car, but
yeah,
I don't know. That JGL team.
They're still running that 14 full time.
Yeah, isn't that Mike Bliss's car now, or
no?
Or is that just their extra?
I don't know if it's their extra because I saw a picture on either Twitter or Facebook for TriStar, and it showed that they had 5 super speedway cars being built.
Really?
Yes. So
That's
assuming it's the 10, 14, 19, the 8, and I guess the 91's going to show up at Daytona. I have no idea. I have no idea.
yeah. I'm not sure there. It's it's definitely going to be interesting to see what TriStar has planned. But back to the JGL thing, it's going to be interesting to see how that team works out. Hopefully they've built on some of their equipment. They just, I don't know, man.
Well, I think the big thing is that there's like those 5 or 6 people that are complaining about it's not a Dodge team anymore, and for all you lunatics that are complaining about the Dodge thing, like give it a rest. Dodge has been out of the sport now what 2, 3 years already, and they bought the cars from Penske. The things already sat around a year at least, if not more. So Penske's already made better equipment by now, and even though Dodge is out of the sport, there's no money in it for them to run these cars. And now I
Yeah,
think there's some uh, modifications going on with the body style, especially with the noses, because I know the Mustangs are getting the new. I don't know if it's decals or is it decals and body shape differences. And I know the Toyota Camrys are. I'm assuming the Camaro is going to stay the same, but there are some modifications going on for this year in the Xfinity series. Probably can't run the Challengers anymore, anyhow. So as much as everybody wants Dodge to stick around because of JGL, it's not going to be around next year.
yeah. I'm not really sure what the changes are. I haven't really seen much. I'm
It just
sure
looks like a
you know
no.
more, like you usually do.
It's usually it to me the photos I've seen it's just the nose, but again I don't know if it's all done by decals or is it done by um, a combo of the two because they're not like the Cup cars. They're not molded and all that like the Cup car front noses are.
Yeah. It it's gonna be interesting to see just how the season works out. I'm not a big fan of the new Xfinity logo, so that's gonna be a lot different on the merchandise.
Well, I
But
mean, anybody could have came up with that logo in 5 seconds. That's all I gotta say about that.
Elliot Henderson, if he was still here, he would have definitely had something to say about that.
Well, I think I agree. I think Elliot would have probably designed something 20 times better, but I don't know. I guess it was a conservative move. I mean, I guess the other big news you could talk about while we're talking about companies and new sponsors, Sprint's leaving after 2016, which, you know what, after everything that came out this all season about this whole deal, I say good riddance, like just adios. I kind of part of me knew they were leaving anyhow because um, once this company has been, I think it was bought out like 2 or 3 times within the last couple years. You just
Yeah.
kind of knew that the writing was on the wall. And once they got rid of Dan Hess and some of the guys that were running Sprint, it was time. They were going to make a change. The Japanese outfit, SoftBank, really didn't care, but it was this other outfit that bought them. The CEO, has a Spanish soccer team, so he's going to invest all his.
So he wants to invest his money into that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to invest all Sprint's advertising funds into that soccer team, and NASCAR is just whatever to them. So good
An
riddance.
afterthought now.
Yeah, good riddance. The Sprint experience is not going to show up at any more races, so whatever. They're not going to want to make any money off of the sport, so that's their part. I mean, hey, NASCAR is getting the cash that I'm sure what is it, $975 million check or whatever the heck that sponsorship is. Whatever that sponsorship. It's some crazy number a year. I mean, it's just, NASCAR is going to make their money. They don't care, but it'll be interesting to see who they get. I'm sure there's some companies that are going to want to do it, but I don't think they're going to get that big, almost $1 billion sponsorship like they got out of Sprint. I just don't see it. I know some people talked about Nationwide,
Nationwide.
but I don't know, because now they have this whole deal with Junior. And to me, it's a lot cheaper to sponsor Dale Jr. even for the races they're doing. Even at $1 million a race, that's a heck
And
of
you're still gonna get the same advertising out of
if
that,
not more,
if not more.
because it's just Dale Jr.
Yeah.
And they can
Exactly.
run that
It'd be the same
commercial.
as sponsoring Danica.
They can run that commercial with Junior in any kind of market. It doesn't have to be a NASCAR race. They can run it in any kind of thing. They can run it during the Super Bowl. And Dale Jr. would sell nationwide insurance.
Which they probably will, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen Dale Jr.
It's a
Unless it was GoDaddy. I think that was the only time I've seen Dale Jr. in a Super Bowl ad so far. Maybe Diet Dew did one time. Pepsi did one, but I mean, unless Dale Call randomly shows up, you know.
Could you imagine that they actually put their money into a sponsorship of the Super Bowl for a Dale call?
Oh my
That'd
God,
be
that'd be hilarious.
definitely interesting.
I think Twitter would break when that happens.
Yeah, I think definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know Hill's a little mad because I'm wearing hockey gear and we're talking NASCAR.
It's not a real hockey team, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, we only beat the defending Stanley Cup champions a couple nights ago.
They were taking the night off. That's all.
Okay, all right.
Letting the less fortunate win. Anyways, how about the Truck Series? Ben Kennedy to Red Horse. What are your thoughts on that one?
Well, Rob, it wasn't Bubba Wallace the Red Horse like you tried to inaccurately report like 5 times.
Well, whatever.
I knew Bubba wasn't saying the Truck Series. That's all. So Ben Kennedy's also got Scott Zipadelli just got announced today as his crew chief. So that's going to be a really big transition there. But I think it's going to work out really well because Scott's got a lot of experience, and let's face it, Ben Kennedy's probably only in the Truck Series this year, and then is going to be running nationwide. Well, Xfinity Series, probably Xfinity Series racing in 2016. I'd be interested to see if there's anything on that truck other than just Red Horse Racing this year. I know he's got his grandfather's money and he can run whatever he wants, but it'd be interesting to see if there's actually a company that is willing to put their name behind Ben Kennedy.
Yeah, I don't know. He's not one of those real high-profile guys, so he's not very attractive to the sponsors. So
you would think with all the connections that the family has, there's got to be some official sponsor that they could have shooken down for some extra cash.
Yeah, well, you'd think, but I don't know.
I mean, then again, I know that
I really don't know.
The economy's not as good as everyone makes it out to be here. Everybody says, like the U.S. economy, the stock market's going like up like this, and it's really kind of like going down like this right now. But whatever, the big.
I'm sure he's probably gonna have. Go ahead.
No, I think he's just got a Red Horse on the truck, and you might see Parts Plus or a Valve.
Toyota Care.
Yeah, Toyota Care, something like that's going to show up. I don't foresee any sponsors going on that truck. It'll be interesting to see who bought up all of Turner's trucks, because I don't know who bought them all up. I don't know if that's GMS Racing's buying them up. I don't know if it's some of the other Chevy teams that just needed trucks.
Rue Motorsports.
Oh yeah, that joke.
Possibly.
Yeah, that joke of a team.
Why do you think it's a joke?
It's not happening. I'm telling you right now. They're not going to run Daytona.
I think they might at least attempt it. But
pretty sure that Woodfield was built 3 years ago.
It does seem like it's an organization that really just went out there and said that they were going to do something just to get a bit of publicity for the driver. But I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean,
it's weird.
Well, it's weird, but also
it's just weird.
At the same time, you got to look at. There's a lot of teams. There was one that was just announced, I think, yesterday. There's another one that's like an ARCA team that's going to run some truck races. Let's see if it happens. I know at least GMS is going to probably seriously run the season. It sounds like Joey Coulter's out of a ride. That's what at least was announced. Again, surprise, surprise. I mean, I'm going to say this. I like Joey, but he's just, I don't know. He's got that one truck win, and I think that's all he's going to get. Thankfully, I was there when he won the race.
He's really good enough, or?
I just think the equipment he's been in has been bad the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean,
He wasn't.
I think when he was with Kyle, Kyle wasn't putting all his money into that 18 truck because he was running the 51, and they were blowing the doors off of everybody.
Yeah.
And the 18 was running
So
like
you thought
20th.
more of the money was probably invested in Kyle's ride,
Well, yeah, I mean, and
basically.
yeah, and then you look at GMS last year. I mean, I think Spencer Gallagher had the highest finish between those two guys.
Yeah, I believe he did. It was like top
Eighth or
10
ninth,
or
yeah.
something like that.
Hey,
Eighth, ninth.
Joey just ran
Yeah.
like in 10 to 15th every race. I mean, that's why he ran. You're I don't know. Stick to the dirt racing.
He's never had a really good ride. I don't know. I feel like he's kind of almost like a Kenny Wallace. You have a couple good races and then you just really fall off and then
Well, I
you're
mean,
nobody.
he had a great shot with Childress, but I mean, he like I said, he just didn't
Yeah,
put a
but
year together.
when he was there, one of the Dillon brothers was there, right? So
Yeah, and they also
he
had.
also didn't have the best equipment because the best equipment was going to the brother and Brendan Gaughan.
Yeah, but you still know that he won a race in that 22.
Yeah,
I mean, he did more than
exactly. Yeah,
what Brendan Gaughan did. I mean, look at Brendan Gaughan last year. I mean, here's a guy that I mean, you needed to ask me last year if Brendan Gaughan was going to do anything in the nation in the well now the Xfinity series, but then the Nationwide series. I would call you crazy because Brendan hasn't done anything in probably what 10 years.
well, you did last year when we were discussing it when it happened. You said it was kind of useless,
Well,
pretty much.
I mean, you look at Childress, it's the Dillon brothers, which are running on their grandfather's dollar. You have Paul Menard, who's
Yeah.
running on his dad's money. You have Brian Scott, who's running on his dad's money. Brendan Gaughan, who's running on his dad's money. And then, it's just like everybody's got someone else's pocket they're running with. And it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Austin inside. But you look at Paul
Yeah.
Menard, one cup win, a couple nationwide races. That's great. I mean, Brendan Gaughan won two nationwide races last year, which was
Two races last year, yeah.
and
Awesome for him.
you know what? I'm glad he won the road course because Brendan has done a lot of road racing, and I think that's one thing people don't realize is Brendan is a road racer. That's where he's kind of done really well. Even in the Cup cars, he ran okay at the road races, but just not surprising that he won at a place like Kentucky because Kentucky's a mile and a half, and that's where he did really well in the Truck Series for a number of years. So, it wasn't surprising, but it was just the fact that it's been like 10 years since he won a race.
Yeah, so it really did come as a surprise, but it was awesome to see.
It was awesome to see. I mean, I'm not trying to say that Brendan's not a good guy because, he runs on his dad's dollars. I mean, hey, I think if we all had that kind of unconditional money, we would all be racing for a living, I think. But, it's just, it's just,
Sure.
it's just amazing, and I got to meet Brendan at Dover a couple times, so he's always been a nice guy. But yeah, it's just really interesting, and you're gonna see, I think you're gonna see a couple of weird upsets this year in the Xfinity series. I think you're gonna see a guy that's probably gonna run, if not a full schedule, a partial schedule is gonna be up there in wins. I really think Bubba's gonna have a breakout year. I really do, and I wouldn't be shocked if Eric Jones doesn't get a nationwide Xfinity one this year or two. I think Eric Jones is going to give them a run for their
Or
money.
three.
I mean, he only might run 10 races, but he's going to give them a run for their money in every race he's in.
Yeah.
And throw Ryan Blaney in there too. I mean, Ryan Blaney's going to run, probably a dozen races or so, and I don't think Ryan's going to do that great in the Cup car. I think Ryan's going to struggle a bit, but he'll get a top 10, I think, in a Cup race this year at some point.
Yeah. He's gonna be sort of like Trevor Bayne in that car because really it's
Nah, he's
not.
going to be a little bit better because you also got to admit the equipment's going to be a little bit better.
Well, it's gonna be Penske built.
Penske versus Roush is going to be night and day on that team.
Yeah, I'm sure most of it's gonna be Penske built.
What's all
So,
Penske built?
yeah.
They
What do you
they
think about Austin Terrio picking up a truck ride for Daytona?
who's he
Who do you
driving
think
for?
that's with? He hasn't announced it, but he said it's for an established team, and it will be for several races beginning at Daytona.
SS Greenlight.
I hope not.
Driving the '08 truck for Bobby
Oh,
Goddard.
God.
Don't laugh when it happens.
If it happens, I feel bad for him because
And you
he
heard it
is a
here
good
first.
driver. Yep, Bobby Bailey said it.
Um,
So don't forget.
yeah, I don't really think that that's the deal. It might be GMS.
It could be, or it could be another team. You never know.
Just trying to think who else is it established. Is it a Chevy team or he just?
More than likely, because he's still under contract with Junior Motorsports.
Ooh, so it's got to have a Hendrick affiliation. Ah, I got it. I got one for you.
Who's that?
They just switched from
RCR.
They just switched from Toyota to Chevrolet, and they're running all Hendrick stuff this year. The Chicken Man,
Who's that? Oh God.
John West Townley's teammate.
I bet you that's who it is. It's unfortunate because it is John West Townley as his teammate. So,
I mean, I don't know if they really have a second truck to put together, but it's only
well,
a couple of
Hendrick
races.
might have some sitting around, or you really never know. They could have
Or
built
they
one.
bought, or they bought some off of Turner.
Probably. Those are good trucks, so you might as well sell them off. And if you're a team looking for more trucks, you might as well buy them. I'd buy them, but
Yeah, I mean they're running. I won't be shocked if John West Townley wrecks a lot less with Hendrick horsepower this year.
you will be shocked. Uh, yeah. I'd be shocked if he did anything.
If he wins a race, God
Watch
help the Twitterverse.
watch he goes out and wins Daytona.
If he wins Daytona, watch out for Twitter. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Free chicken at Zaxby's for a year.
Basically. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sucks that there's no Zaxby's here.
It'll be interesting to see who's sponsoring Blake Cook for the year.
I'd say probably was it C Celsius or Celsius C? I believe
Think
that
so?
was one of his sponsors this year. Um, could also have to do with the 32 team. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. It'd be interesting.
Hmm. I don't think it's got anything
What do
to
you
do
think
with.
of that?
I was going to say I don't think it's got anything to do with the 32, but
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think of Kwasniewski only running part-time?
he should have ran part time this past year.
He shouldn't have ran at all this year. He should have been in K&N still, or ARCA. He
Yeah, he
is
should have
not
been.
ready.
He should have been in the 30 truck, and that Hornaday thing never would have been an issue.
Yeah, he's not ready. He is not ready at all.
I don't even know how they had the funding to run that car this year, to be honest with you.
Rockstar.
Rockstar really wasn't on that car all that much.
No, but this year all the money is the Kyle Larson deal.
Yeah, with Parker Stores.
I think I feel like that's where a lot of the money came from last year as well, was with the Target deal.
Well, Target did all of Larson's races, and then they did what was it, 5 or 6 of Kwasniewski's races?
Yeah, but you got to think they probably had money left over, which probably went towards funding Wisniewski.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's interesting.
You know, Terry could be driving for NTS.
Yeah, that could be as well, or some other team that we don't know about that's magically coming back. Who knows?
Doubt it.
RCR returning to the trucks.
Nope. Unless there's another kid on the way somewhere nobody knows about in like 10 years, 20 years.
Bobby Dale Jr. or whatever the hell his name is. The guy that got arrested last year.
Sure, him.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Kerry Earnhardt making his debut, or making his return.
Well, was
What's
it
going on with Jeffrey Earnhardt this year? Anything?
nothing?
Is he racing?
Nah, apparently Richard was gonna run him in some truck races if he ever found sponsorship, but you know where that went.
Yeah.
That went
What do you
nowhere.
think of the? What do you think of? I think it's a 32 car. They're running a Ford, sponsored by Corvette parts. So
Yeah,
they
but
have the
it's not.
Corvette logo right above the Ford emblem.
Well, I don't know if Ford has any. I'm going to be careful what I say just because I really don't know all the inner workings of the 32 team, but
Yeah.
I don't know how much they get support from Ford, to be honest with you.
Probably none, but still, it just looks stupid.
It looks stupid, but they might not have the money to go drive Chevys.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Because last I heard, that's some leftover Roush stuff.
Yeah, I believe that's what it was. Man, there's not really that
Slash
much else
slash front row
that's
motorsports
happened.
Kevin Conway extend stuff.
Kevin Conway, what a joke.
He might drive for Nemechek. You never know.
Yeah,
RAB Racing might get desperate with the 29 Cup car.
yeah. Sign him, put him in there. There we go.
What was it? Tommy Baldwin's going to have a deal with Jay Robinson this year.
That's what I heard. Yeah, it's weird.
I don't get it. I guess Jay's not going to be affiliated with Michael Waltrip anymore.
Jay's been affiliated with everybody, so I don't know. It's just weird, crazy,
NASCAR
stupid.
NASCAR affiliated with Jay Robinson Racing.
Yeah, the Jay Robinson series. There we go.
It's going to be interesting to see who do you think's going to fill the 55 seat for the beginning of the Cup season.
Uh, I want to say Michael Waltrip, but
At
it's going to be
Daytona.
Brett Moffitt. It's going to be Brett Moffitt.
We'll see.
You know it is, especially with that affiliation deal falling through. They got to have somewhere to field Brett Moffitt in his Cup races. So I believe
They can
he's
still
probably going to
they
drive
can
the
still run a
55.
fourth car.
I don't know if they will though,
I tell you
because
this.
most of his Cup races were through Jay Robinson.
True, but you can still run the 66 in house.
Yeah, but they didn't have a very good year last year. So the
Yeah, but
whole team.
he's saving $1.5 million by not having to test this year.
Well,
That's enough to go
they
run at
they're
least one
they're
race.
still testing. Have you seen the test schedule? There's a lot of test sessions.
Yeah, but he's saying he's saving an additional million and a quarter to $1.5 million on top of whatever it normally would cost him to test.
Wow. All right. That's yeah.
He can run Brett Moffitt in a race off of that money.
Uh, you might as well use the car you already have though, because you know Michael Waltrip's not good enough to compete at any
Michael's
other
gonna run.
tracks besides the
Michael's gonna run
speedways.
Daytona.
Easily, yeah.
If he doesn't run Daytona in the
Yeah.
55, I'll be shocked.
Oh, he'll run it. Guarantee that. You know he will, because he wants to be competitive. He is good at super speedways.
if Eric Jones wasn't so out of, you know, if Eric Jones wasn't so, how can I say, important at Gibbs, I'd say throw Eric Jones in the 55.
Yeah. Is hold on. Is Aaron still a sponsor of Michael Waltrip Racing?
Yes, full season on the 55.
Uh,
Michael's gonna drive the 55 to start the year. I'm telling you right now.
well, you could have.
No, he's not coming out of retirement. He already said it. He already said it. Don't even go there. What'd you do, Hill? Did you break the computer? I think you broke your computer. I think you broke your computer.
Hello? Are you still here? Hello, viewers. Um, just hold on a second. Let's get Bobby back in here.